Alright, y'all, so we just got some news a few hours ago, and Knicks fans might want to avert their eyes, but it was reported that the Knicks are apparently willing to consider both RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson in a trade that will land them a top three pick in this upcoming draft. And overall, I just think that this would be a super redundant move for the Knicks to make. They already have the eighth overall pick in this upcoming draft, so while it would be nice to move into the top three, there are only a few logical reasons why I would see making Mitchell Robinson and RJ Barrett available for that. I just don't see how that would be a good move for the Knicks for the future. Like I said, it'd just be kind of redundant and not do much for them. I will highlight one case where I would approve of this deal, but we'll get to that down the line. But getting into the many reasons why this would just be a not great move for the Knicks in general. First off, RJ Barrett did perfectly fine in his rookie season. He was only 19 years old and was the second guy, the second scorer, one of two guys on the entire Knicks roster who's capable of creating a shot for either himself or his teammates. Obviously, Julius Randle's the other one. You can maybe make the case for a guy like Bobby Portis, but I'm not gonna say that. Also, if you do look at the usage numbers, RJ Barrett was second with 24% usage, only behind Julius Randle. So already he played such a vital role for a team that had not a lot of talent around him, and RJ performed just fine. He averaged 14, 5, and 3 over the season, made the all-rookie team, although he did get off to a hot start and then slowed down a little bit, but there's no reason to be selling any of your RJ Barrett stock. He's going to be perfectly fine down the line. One number that I especially liked from him in his rookie season was the 5 free throw attempts per game, and that's just a really, really good base to start at. And free throws are easily becoming one of the best and easiest ways to score. You see guys like James Harden, Luka Doncic, those guys excel at scoring, in part due to the fact that they can get so many easy points from the foul line, and it's a very good skill to have. And RJ has already shown some good potential in doing that and getting better at that as he improves and grows and matures throughout his career. Overall, there's really no need in trading RJ Barrett, who might I add, him himself was just a top 3 pick a year ago. I don't see why you then go and trade him for another top 3 pick when you already know for a pretty solid fact that RJ Barrett's going to turn into at least a above average starter caliber player. As for Mitchell Robinson, I'm going to start by saying that he himself should not even be anywhere near worth a top 3 pick in any NBA draft, even one as not stacked as this year's. But anyway, yeah, Mitchell Robinson by himself is not worth a top 3 pick. Maybe if they were to package Robinson and their current 8th overall pick, that could probably get them into the top 3. But then it becomes a matter of working out a trade with one of those top 3 lottery teams in order to get the deal done. And I looked through some of the trades and I just really don't see it happening. Anyway, they shouldn't even really be thinking about trading Mitchell Robinson. He is one of the better young prospects in the current NBA, at least one of the better center prospects, to say the least. He hasn't gotten a whole lot of playing time because the Knicks, in true Knick fashion, have built a roster where they have made it very difficult for their younger players to get a lot of time on the court. But if you do look at Mitchell Robinson's per 36 numbers, you'll see that he has a career averages of 14 and 11 to go along with 3.5 blocks per game, which that is just absolutely absurd. Those 3.5 blocks per game would tie Mitchell Robinson for number 1 in the all-time leaderboards with Mark Eaton for most blocks per game. And obviously it's per 36, so it's a bit fluctuated, but you get the point. Mitchell Robinson is one of the most gifted and special shot blockers that the NBA has seen, and he's still only 20 years old, has plenty of room to grow and improve, and he is just a freak when it comes to defending the rim. Not to mention that Robinson has also, in both his years so far in the NBA, has seen himself either at or near the top in terms of field goal percentage, as he is a career 72% from the field, which again is just an absolutely absurd number when speaking on efficiency. And while he hasn't exactly shown that he can stretch the floor yet, he has been the focal point of many of the ever boring, growing workout videos where we see some guy just shooting threes with open threes with some trainers, and we all say like, oh, maybe he's going to develop a shot, but we never actually see it. Robinson's like the epitome of that category of players. Hopefully he can actually start stretching the floor in game if the Knicks give him, the green light to do that. And again, it'll just make him an even better player. What I'm trying to get at, I think Mitchell Robinson, although he doesn't have the value necessary to get a top 3 pick by himself, I don't see why the Knicks should even be trading him in the first place. As I mentioned at the start of this video, there is one avenue where I could see this potentially somehow working for the Knicks if they do in fact pursue a potential trade to move into the top 3. If they do in fact give up on RJ Barrett or Mitchell Robinson, I think the only player in this draft who could give you that same type of play or just give you that same type of value is LaMelo Ball. And I don't think it's any secret that the New York Knicks would love to have LaMelo on their team. He would immediately be plugged in as the focal point of the team, the number 1 option, maybe minus Julius Randle. Randle probably wouldn't be too happy about it, but there is no doubt in my mind that James Dolan and the rest of the front office and marketing team and all that would immediately push LaMelo as the face of the franchise in New York, and they'd probably just try to use him to spark the revival of a very dead franchise. And I'm not trying to say that this would be a good move in terms of a basketball sense. I definitely do not think this would be good for the New York Knicks basketball-wise. I think their best option would just be stay put with what they have. What I would like even better for them, a little bit of bias since I am a Celtics fan, I would love for the Celtics to just give up all 3 of their first-round picks for that Knicks 8th overall pick. I think that would bring them down a much better avenue. But in this hypothetical situation where either Barrett or Robinson gets traded, I really only see LaMelo as the only option to fill their shoes in the case this potential trade could actually happen. Overall, this would be a very Knick thing to do. As always, the Knicks are going to Knick, but we can't lie to ourselves. I think we'd all very much enjoy a LaMelo in New York situation where he can just be LaMelo, huck up shots, not try too hard on defense to just make all the highlight plays. And with that being said, that is it for this video. As always, drop your comments down below on what you think about this whole situation with the Knicks being the Knicks again and again and again. But while you're down there, maybe hit the like button, maybe hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this type of content. And as always, most importantly, thank you for watching.